The train station was crowded that evening, but Daniel felt completely alone. Rain poured from the dark sky, and people rushed past him with umbrellas, luggage, and tired faces. But Daniel stood still near platform 3, staring at his phone screen. One message. Just one message. That was all he was waiting for. The message was from Emma, the girl who had unknowingly become the most important person in his life. Daniel and Emma had met 3 years ago in the most unexpected way. Daniel was sitting in a small coffee shop near his office, working on his laptop, when someone suddenly spilled coffee all over his notebook. "Oh my God. I'm so sorry," a soft voice said. Daniel looked up. A girl with nervous eyes and messy hair stood in front of him, holding a coffee cup and looking extremely embarrassed. "It's okay," Daniel said with a small laugh. "My notebook needed some excitement anyway." That was the first time he saw Emma smile. And somehow, that small accident became the beginning of something beautiful. After that day, they kept meeting at the same coffee shop. At first it was just coincidence. Then it became a habit. Soon they started talking for hours about life, dreams, fears, and everything in between. Emma was different from anyone Daniel had ever met. She loved simple things. Rainy days, old songs, long walks. And she had a way of making Daniel feel calm, like the world wasn't as complicated as it seemed. But there was one problem. Daniel never told her how he felt. Because Emma had a rule. She always said she didn't believe in love. Love always leaves, she once told him quietly, while staring out the window. My parents loved each other, and then they didn't. After that, everything broke. Daniel never argued. He just listened. And slowly, he fell deeper in love with her. Months passed, then years. They became inseparable. But Daniel stayed silent. Until one day, everything changed. It was Emma's birthday. Daniel planned something special. He decorated the coffee shop table with small lights and flowers. When Emma arrived, she looked surprised. "Daniel, what is all this?" He took a deep breath. For the first time in 3 years, his heart was beating so loudly he could barely speak. "Emma, I know you don't believe in love," he said softly. "But I do. And I think I've loved you since the day you ruined my notebook." Emma froze. Her eyes filled with emotions Daniel couldn't understand. For a moment she said nothing. Then she stood up. I need time," she whispered. And she walked away. That night Daniel couldn't sleep. He kept checking his phone. But Emma never called. The next morning he received a message. "Daniel, I'm sorry. I'm scared of love. I don't want to lose you as a friend. Maybe it's better if we stop meeting for a while." Daniel's heart broke. But he respected her decision. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. They stopped talking. Stopped meeting. Stopped being part of each other's lives. But Daniel never stopped loving her. Every day, he passed the coffee shop and remembered their laughter. Every rainy day reminded him of Emma. Then one evening, almost a year later, Daniel received a message. It was from Emma. "Can we meet tomorrow? Same coffee shop. 6 p.m. Daniel's heart raced. The next day he arrived early. But Emma never came. He waited 1 hour. Then 2. Finally, disappointed, he stood up to leave. Just then, the coffee shop owner walked toward him. "Daniel?" "Yes. There's something for you." The owner handed him a small envelope. Daniel opened it. Inside was a letter written in Emma's handwriting. His hands began to shake. The letter said, "Daniel, if you're reading this, it means I didn't have the courage to say this in person. When you told me you loved me that day, I was scared. Not because I didn't feel anything, but because I felt too much. The truth is, I loved you too. But I was afraid that if I accepted that love, life would take you away from me. And then something happened 3 months ago. I found out I'm very sick. The doctors say I don't have much time. That's why I disappeared. I didn't want you to watch me fade away. But I also didn't want to leave this world without telling you the truth. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. And if life was kinder, I would have loved you forever. Emma." Daniel couldn't breathe. His vision blurred with tears. He looked at the bottom of the letter. There was one final sentence. "By the time you read this, I'll probably be gone." But somewhere, I hope you're smiling again. Daniel slowly looked around the coffee shop. The empty chair across from him. The same chair where Emma used to sit. Outside, rain started falling again. Just like the day they met. Daniel whispered quietly, "I love you too, Emma. I always did." But the girl who changed his life forever was no longer there to hear it.